I don't know. After hearing him calm and talking about the tether story, it's probable.
Let's go down to the county attorney's office. I think you'll find a lot of humans down there.
All right.
No disrespect.
Stop driving.
I'm flirting with the judge in front of my dad. Court does call.
Why do I do that so often? I know exactly when I'm supposed to pause it, still overshoot it. I don't know, 50% of the time. Anyways, let's start over. Let's pretend my intro just ended. All right. What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone's well. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you everyone for hanging out. Because it's Valentine's Day, and I see Heather in the chat. Heather, I love you. I know we just talked, but, still tell everyone I love you. All right. You guys want to watch some court? Before I get into... Yeah, you know what? I'll hold off on my announcements, but we're starting with the Judge Simpson hearing, the sentencing that has been adjourned now. This is the third attempt today. And it's been everywhere today just because of, there's a lot of drama that happens during this. And I actually reached out to our very own Debbie Baker and asked her what the not legalities, that's not the right word. What is a judge allowed to do? Because... and I'll explain this as it goes. I think Judge Simpson may have gone a little bit above what he's allowed to do. Now, I'll explain that as it goes. As it goes, I'll explain it. But that's how I feel. Now, we can disagree. I'm not an attorney. Which is why I reached out to one to see if I was right or wrong. I've watched court long enough that I've never seen a judge do this, and I just wanted to know where it stands, how it works. Okay. All right. I just lost my train of thought. Part 1 and part 2 of this, because we've covered both parts, are in the description. So if you don't know what we're talking about, I will cover a lot of it as we're going. But if you want to see the actual clips and watch me covering it for the first 2 parts, those links are in the description. Please go watch them. They're good. And then you'll get, the factual basis behind what's going on right now. I will try my best to keep everyone up to date. But the biggest thing would be the facts of the case. Now, the defendant got hit by a young female who had a couple passengers in her vehicle. A couple things happened. We're not going to argue the details of the case right now, but a couple things happened where the female actually got into her car and fled, and the defendant followed after her. Now, I don't want to say chased because I don't know, the legal term of chase when it comes to court, but the guy who got hit followed after them. The girls the young women ended up getting into a car accident and passed away. So this is a very high emotional case, and this is a sentencing. Now, this defendant took a plea deal. He accepted a plea deal from the prosecutor that was failure to stop at a property damage accident. And his attorney will go into this a lot, but I just want you to know that's what he pled to. He pled to not staying and waiting for the police to show up at the original accident scene where the young women hit him. Again, they left and he followed them, and then they got into another accident. That is not what he pled to. He didn't plead to any part of that accident. Those are very important details before we watch this, but that's just a quick catch up to what's going on. All right. Before I hit this play button, you already know what to do. You know what? I got a new member. JLM, thank you so much for becoming a new member. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Welcome to the family. I've got a few super chats from PayPal when I call out, but I'll wait till a little bit later to do that. But thank you all for being here. Before I hit that play button, you already know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. All right, let's go.
The case of the people of the state of Michigan versus John Torres.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Patricia Reiser on behalf of the Plea.
Good afternoon, Judge. Joshua Van Loan on behalf of Mr. Torres, who's present in your courtroom.
Can you state your name, sir?
John Torres.
All right. This is the date of the adjourned sentencing date. There was statements given by the mothers of the two young ladies to the court. They asked the court to look at additional information, which the 911, the recordings of 911 were sent to the court. The court had reviewed them. Was there anything else from either side before the court goes into its decision? Anything from the people?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Anything from the defense?
No, Judge, you've given us ample time. Thank you.
Let me just say that and I guess there isn't an easy way for me to say this. And I guess I don't know. I know the mothers gave their statements at the last hearing. I don't know. Was there anything additional you wanted to tell the court? No, from neither. Okay. There isn't an easy way for the court to say this, except for to say that, well, first of all, and I'll give everyone another opportunity to speak after I say what I'm going to say and what the court looks at, what the court has at least surmised. The defense's position is that certainly the defendant ought to be sentenced on the charge that he pled to. Much of that, frankly, I guess bears on the concept, or at least what has been said, that the defendant, Mr. Torres, was not in a position to see the accident.
All right, I think No and I might be reconducting our happy argument, not argument. What do you say it? Our disagreement, our friendly disagreement that we went back and forth with. Yeah, it is completely in his right to sentence jail, but it is not completely in his right to bring out evidence that's not, he can't introduce his own evidence. So it's in the, okay, we're getting ahead. No, stop. No, you stop, because I'm going to respond to you, and don't do it. We will combat each other after this video or after this clip, but not at the beginning of it.
And that he was someplace else, which led to the plea. And again, it's not the court's province to get involved in what the particulars of the charge are, but to try to do its best to mete out a just sentence. Part of the reason also that the court had made a determination to at least hear the 911 tapes. I have a copy of the police report as well as Mr. Torres' statements. Was because I was going, and I said to the parents that there may not be anything that the court could do, but you were going to be heard by this court. And in doing that, some things, as I saw them, were a bit disturbing to me. And I'm not.
No. You want to come up on panel? I don't want to keep pausing it a lot during this because a lot of things happen. So I want to let it play for a little bit. But if you want to come up on panel, let me know and we can discuss this afterwards. That would be a fun discussion. That'd be a really fun discussion. Him and I've been friends with him for a while, and him and I have neither one of us have legal backgrounds, right? But we watch court all day. So we have fun discussions, and sometimes we're on the same page. We're not always on the same page. This one we're not on the same page about. So this might be a fun one to to reenact in front of everybody. Because he's passionate about one side, I'm passionate about the other. Before I hit that play button, Kelly, thank you so much for being a member for 1 month. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, I saw Chris in the chat. Chris, I'm going to call you out officially after this video is over for your PayPal, but I have 2 other PayPals I want to announce too. So I'm going to do that after this video, but I want to play this a little bit longer before I pause again. But yeah, no, if you want to come up, send me a PM on Discord and I'll send you the link.
Nor should I be in a position necessarily to do some investigation to try to figure out what transpired entirely. But ultimately, the issue became, and I will make no bones about it, that if this court believed, despite the charges, that the defendant was indeed basically present when the vehicle went off the road and the accident occurred, that changes the court's perspective on what would be a proper sentence in this case. So initially, in listening to the 911 calls, particularly there were a few other calls, but I listened to Mr. Torres' call to 911. And that initially caused me some concern about whether or not the defendant saw this accident. And here's why. And again, I will give it an opportunity to respond, but Mr. Torres initially contacts 911, and what was said to the court by Mr. Torres and what he had maintained to probation is that he didn't see this accident. I'm having a very difficult time believing that. And let me explain my reasons why. Defense counsel, I think, properly stated before that that Mr. Torres had called from someplace else. Mr. Torres contacts 911, and it's an odd call because of the way that I think the dispatcher was responding to Mr. Torres. But one of the things that was said is Mr. Torres put himself at First Street off of Superior. The dispatcher says that's not where we have you. Put a pin in that because that becomes important in the court's mind. At some point, Mr. Torres then says, I'm at First Street. He's then headed back to the location of the initial contact between the vehicles. Okay. All of that being said, I then review the police report and Mr. Torres' statement. And if everyone can recall, one of the things that the court was looking at was Did Mr. Torres chase these individuals and cause this accident? One of the things that was said in counter to that is that he's not near the accident, doesn't see the accident. Again, I'm having a difficult time believing that. And part of the reason I'm having a difficult time believing that is because there is an EMU security camera that's referred to in the police report that has these vehicles traveling down Huron River Drive, both at a high rate of speed, because Mr. Torres is in an Equinox, I do believe, and there's a truck. At some point, they get to the corner of Huron River Drive and Superior. According to Mr. Torres, it is a red light. The truck stops. He stops at some point. The truck continues through the red light. Mr. Torres indicates from the report, at least as I read it, that he then turns on a green light. Now, how that certainly all could happen. Bottom line is that they are then, Mr. Torres indicates in the police report that at some point on Superior, he disengages from, as he puts, following the vehicle.
Yes, can we get a very big thank you to Heather for all the emotes? And I saw your message earlier or a few minutes ago about the the women get the buff lift and we don't get anything. See, we have some Jessica Blanche, and we're replacing. Well, I don't know if replacing is the right word, but looking for a Oh, why does my mind keep leaving me? Oh, you know what? I probably should just stop talking. Do you get a thank you? I don't know. Do you get a thank you? I don't know. Heather gets a thank you. Why would you get a thank you? I don't know why you would say that. All right. Anyways, nothing right now. Judge Simpson's going through the facts of the case. This isn't the controversial part that kind of upsets me. That is the reason why No and I had our little friendly debate backstage. We're getting to that. We are getting to that.
It's best the court's able to determine the distance from that corner of Superior where the turn is made to the railroad tracks. It's approximately 1,000 feet. Mr. Torres is then, if he is correct, and he is saying where he is to the dispatcher, this is where we take the pen out of that he's at first, but the dispatcher saying, that's not where we have you. Mr. Torres is further up that road. But even if I give the defendant the benefit of the doubt that as far as he went was first, the railroad tracks are approximately 100 feet from that location. It is a clear shot from that location to see those railroad tracks and that intersection. It is not as though there is a crest. It is as though there is something that from first would obstruct one's view. The other thing that was specifically asked of Mr. Torres is he made it very clear that he did not go over the railroad tracks, but the additional thing that was asked is whether or not he crossed a bridge. Mr. Torres says he did not cross a bridge. That can't be true.
All right, so this is when we're starting to go down the line of what I don't agree with. Now, Judge Simpson, he's looking at the evidence that he has, right? Now, this is a plea deal. there was not a trial. So he's looking at I don't know, the pre-sentencing report. I don't know what's in that report. Can't see it. Couldn't tell you what's in it. But he's looking at whatever's been submitted so far, and he has an idea of what could possibly happen. Now, he's saying for a fact this can't be true. He doesn't know that. And look at the attorney. Look at the defense attorney. Bottom right defense attorney. He's giving that smug face. He's just like, how do you I don't know. I don't know if you can say that. Now, this is when one of the few times where I'm disagreeing with Judge Simpson. I think he's assuming facts here. I think he's using some emotional parents because their kids passed away, and I understand that. But I feel like Judge Simpson is starting to stretch at this point, and you guys can tell me I'm wrong, and this is what No and I disagree with, and I'll go deeper into that as this goes on. But as of now, it's just he's assuming facts at this point, and I don't know where a judge is allowed to put the boundaries on what's in evidence, what's in the pre-sentencing report on a plea deal. Remember, this is a plea deal. They didn't go to trial. This is a plea deal. And what is actually what he can figure out on his own. That's going to be a big line that we're going to come to here shortly.
Because as you're going up Superior, to get to First, you have to cross the bridge. Moreover, when Mr. Torres is later questioned and talking to the dispatcher, he had to not only cross that bridge once, he had to cross it twice because he had to go over the bridge and he had to come back to get to the location where it occurred.
I'd say something, Your Honor.
In a moment.
No.
No.
Moreover, when you listen to the other 911.
No. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If it's made on false grounds, he has the right to do that. But we're jumping ahead. Can you re-ask that question here in about 10 minutes? Because the judge brings up his own evidence, and that's where the issue lies. He brings in his own evidence here shortly. That's where my problem is. A judge can't do that. A judge cannot bring up a map on his own that's not in evidence and then try to say this is where the 911 calls happened. That's what's about to happen. That's what I don't agree with. Now, again, I'm not an attorney, and this is why I asked Debbie Baker for assistance on this. But there is a gray line to whether Judge Simpson can get away with this or not. And I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's right. I don't think it is. I think, like I said, I don't think this is. I think he went above where he needs to because he's emotional about this case. And I understand that. It's a very emotional case. But when he starts bringing up a GPS map and bringing up 911 calls on his own that aren't in evidence, there's some issues with that, especially because the defense attorney didn't get a chance to respond to it. That's where we're coming to.
On calls that are called in. 2 vehicles that are traveling to the south. So they're traveling the opposite direction from the Getty's roundabout. They see the vehicle go basically off the railroad tracks and have the accident. From really, and honestly, I mean, I don't know exactly where they are, but from putting again the defendant where he says he is, they are at a much further distance from those tracks than would be Mr. Torres. He's much further. Let me preface this by saying through the other hearings, it was stated to the court that he is nowhere near the tracks and that he is further from the tracks where this occurred. That can't be true and everything else be true. It just can't be. He is within 100 feet, really between 80 to 100 feet of that intersection.
Yeah, I'm sorry for pausing it so much, but I agree. This is a very good conversation. It's a very good legal conversation. And as far as I know, we don't have any attorneys in the chat. If you are an attorney in the chat, I apologize. No shade. The only actual attorney I know that comes to my chat often is Debbie. She's not here. But yeah, we're very respectful. Like, we can disagree on this because this is a very emotional topic. It's a you know, I can see how people can see both sides. I can see, you know, the prosecutor's side or Judge Simpson's side. I don't agree with him on this point, but we can still have a conversation about this. So no, you're absolutely right. Like, this is great. No one's yelling at anybody else.
And when that vehicle goes off the road. Certainly. Okay, I got it. And it also is perplexing from the court standpoint. I thought I understood it initially. When Mr. Torres is telling the dispatcher that he has the license plate of the other vehicle, one is thinking, or at least I was thinking, that he is getting that license plate by following the vehicle. That's not the case. He actually had the license plate of the vehicle prior to it turning onto Superior. Hence, realistically, there is no reason whatsoever for him to have continued. There is no reason whatsoever for him to have continued up Superior behind that truck. Now, if somebody, and counsel, I will give you an opportunity to address the court on that. And like I said, I'm not here, and I explained to Mom, it's not my province regarding the charge. My province is to mete out the sentence with what's in front of me. And again, I will give an opportunity for a response, but I can tell you where the court is at this point. The court at this point is of the opinion, and
Crazy Cat, he's one of the smartest people I know. I know his name is No One No, and I love it. I make puns about it every single day when I say good morning to him. But he is one of the smartest people I know. He watches court more than anybody else does. But yeah, so I respect him. I do disagree with him on this point, though.
that Mr. Torres saw this happen. When he talks about the kicking up of dust and other things, the only place in that area that's going to happen is basically at those tracks. It's not going to happen on the turn off of Huron River Drive onto Superior. You're not paid. And, you know, and I'll just say it. When I look at all of this, I'm having a hard time believing that he's telling me the truth about this. So Idlin, can you just put that GPS up? That overhead.
That's actually a really good question. Yes and no. So, and Judge Boyd's in the clip I showed of Judge Boyd yesterday, Judge Boyd and the attorney fought over what was in the agreement, right? But there is actually a sentence guideline that Judge Boyd has to follow. She can't go lower than something, she can't go higher than something. That's the guideline. So Judge Boyd was saying that I'm trying to remember exactly. The attorney was saying, this is what we agree to, you have to agree to this kind of thing. And Judge Boyd's like, no, I don't. Like, this is the guideline I have by statute. What you're saying is outside of the plea deal. So the plea deal is in this parentheses, in this paragraph. The guideline is outside of it for a reason, because I can do whatever I want is in this whatever, the lower to the minimum. Now, as I said last night in Judge Boyd's video, do they 9 times out of 10 follow what the prosecutor suggests? Yes, they do. Do they sometimes go lower? They sometimes go higher? Yes. Some judges will say, I always start in the middle and then I go up and down based on arguments. That happens. Now, this case is not the same, because this guy took a plea deal on fleeing the scene of an accident, which is, I don't know what level of misdemeanor it is. I think at the most he's going to get 90 days in jail. At the most, he's looking at 90 days. But he pled to this in a plea deal where the prosecutor said, we're not looking at jail time. The parents of the victims came up and begged Judge Simpson to give him the max amount of jail time he could get. That's when Judge Simpson started looking into this case. The prosecutor already pretty much said, I can't go forward with this. I don't have any evidence. This is not going to be a winnable trial for me. If you accept this plea deal to fleeing the scene of a property damage accident, I'll give you it. And they accepted it. They go in front of him, Judge Simpson. The victim's mothers come up and say, no, we want him to serve the 90 days. And then he's like, okay, well, I wasn't prepared for that. I'm going to adjourn it. Come for part 2. That was part 1. Again, links are below if you want to watch part 1 and part 2. Part 2 is the mothers come back and say, you have to look at this evidence. You have to look at this evidence. It was almost as if they were fighting the case all over. Like they just ignored the plea deal. And all of a sudden the mom started being the prosecutor, while the prosecutor barely said a word. So Judge Simpson, again, adjourned it, listening to the mothers, went back and looked at the 911 tapes, looked at the facts himself that weren't before him in the plea deal. That's where I'm upset about. And that's where I side on the side of the defense. I'm not saying this was anything pretty. This thing should never have happened. No one should have passed away from this. Nobody should have. This is a tragic accident. But I don't think the prosecutor can prove that this guy caused this tragic accident. And they're going to send him to jail for this when the females are the ones that fled the accident, the scene. They're the ones who left. I know I'm talking a lot. I'm very passionate about this case.
I'll let you, if your counsel believes that should speak, then I will let you speak, but
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Can you blow that up, or you're locked?
Do you need it closer?
Yeah, I just need it closer to the. That's good. Right. Yep, right there. At the very bottom of the screen, you're going to see the
attorney doesn't get a chance to talk until the very end. You don't again, this is Judge Simpson's bringing this map up. This was not, well, okay, I'm not going to say it wasn't in evidence. I don't know. This is Judge Simpson's, in my head, his research. So he went and found a map of this. He is correlating the times of the call to what happened. This is in my head. Again, I don't know what's in evidence. I don't know if this is legit or not that he can do this. If it's in evidence, he can. If it's not, there's a line there that he may have crossed. That's what I'm saying. The defense attorney tries to handle this at the end, and it does not end well. I know I'm way behind in the chat because I keep talking. I'm trying to let it play, but I am very passionate about this case, so I am sorry.
Turn from Huron River Drive onto Superior. Up top of the screen, sir, you will not disrupt these proceedings. I do not want to kick you out, but you are not going to disrupt these proceedings. Up at the top of the screen, you'll see the railroad tracks. And if you look at, I think the first, if you look down from the railroad tracks off at Superior, that first street coming off, which would be as you're looking at the screen.
Jedi, the defendant's mad. The defendant, this is now his third time back in front of Judge Simpson for sentencing when he accepted a plea deal a month and a half ago. And now it's like the case is being tried, even though he accepted a plea deal. So that's why the defendant's upset. And yeah, the defense attorney's upset too. And you're going to hear that at the end of this.
To the left, that's First Street. From there, you can see that there is a clear shot to that intersection with the railroad tracks. If Mr. Torres is there, he has a clear shot to that whole area. When you also look at it just in terms of his timing of the calls, the other calls that are coming in, he can't.
If it was someone in the gallery, I'm sorry. But I know the defendant did try to talk a couple times and I kept shutting him down. So I assumed that it was the defendant. So if it was someone in the gallery, then that is possible.
Can't not be in that area and see what happens. Because the other calls come in shortly thereafter and they're traveling north from the Getty's area, traveling southbound on Superior. They see it. So again, I'm not here, I don't. I'm not here to worry about what's charged, what's not charged. I have to mete out the best sentence I can with what I have. And I will let you know, and counsel, I will give you an opportunity if you want to somehow or another speak with your client prior to the court imposing sentence. But I do believe that jail time is appropriate given what I see. I can't, in giving that, I can't bring back these young ladies. And I told the parents, I can't do that. But I certainly can do the best that I can to make sure something occurs. If I believed that Mr. Torres was not present, that it was as it was portrayed to this court, a circumstance where he could not have seen it, that he would have been so far down on Superior that he wouldn't have seen the railroad tracks, then that's where I would land. And I would have no problem landing with that and justifying it. I can't, based upon his own statements, justify that as being true. He had to see it. He's telling me he's 2 to 3 cars behind them, that he's following them, and that he's at first, and it's a clear shot to those railroad tracks. If somebody wants to tell me how I can come to a different conclusion, then please tell me that. But I can take into account in terms of sentencing, whether or not a defendant is being truthful with the court in terms of what they're saying. And I will be blunt. I'm just a plain talker. I don't believe that he is. Counsel, if prior to your, Mr. Torres is, I don't know that you can see him or not. He really wants to make a statement. I will arrange, counsel. I know you don't want him to. If you want, because since you're not here, if you want to talk to him, I will arrange to get him on a Zoom and get you guys into a breakout room so you can talk.
No, Judge, that's fine. I'm ready to make a comment when you're ready to hear it. I don't need. Mr.
Oh,
Torres to speak
go
at all.
ahead, sir.
It's about to go down.
With all due respect, this is wildly inappropriate. For you to be doing an investigation on your own, for you to be pulling up. Go ahead, Judge. You're the boss. Yes, Judge.
Stop a moment. I think I acknowledged that. I'm not here doing an investigation. The question is what was represented to this court is that he could not have seen it, that he was not following that. Anything that I have here is not an investigation.
I was muted. I completely disagree. It was an investigation. You did that on your own time, and you didn't give counsel the proper time to respond. You put all of that out there, and now you're asking him to respond, and he's saying it's inappropriate. I don't think it's right for Judge Simpson to interrupt him at this point. He has the right to respond. And the second he starts talking and says the word inappropriate, you get mad. Again, I have all the world of respect for Judge Simpson. I do not think he's right in this opinion. I do not. I think he should have let defense counsel finish before he started. And this is when tempers fly.
All I did was listen to the 911 and read the police report. So in that case, if you think that's inappropriate, then fine. You can go ahead with your statement. And then I will proceed to my sentence.
Right. In addition, Judge, you pulled up a map and you said that it's impossible to see, and it's possible to see where the accident was without actually being at the scene viewing it. There was no trial. There was no any opportunity for the defense to present you with counter evidence or anything like that, Judge.
Counsel, what do you want to give me? What do you want to give me?
I don't want to give you anything.
What do you want to give me? No, Judge, counsel, if you're going to say I'm being unfair, what do you want to give me?
Judge, I want to tell you that I don't believe you should be considering anything that will occur after that.
What you represented to this court, and I realize you're advocating for your client about him being someplace further from that scene, it's not true. It's his own statements. These are not anything where I went out there and I'm looking at something or I'm doing whatever. It's just placement. He's saying he's at first. I just listened to the tape. I didn't do anything. I didn't go out there and investigate, talk to any witnesses, do any.
You brought up a map. You brought up a map and pinpointed locations. You brought a map up. You can't do that. A defense attorney, a prosecutor can't do that without bringing it and laying a foundation for that map. You brought the map up. You're laying evidence into this case from a 911 tape. You have to lay the foundation. Like, the judge can't just do that. Again, my opinion. But I think Judge Simpson is wrong. And I love my chat to death because nobody's yelling at each other. And it's like 50-50. And I absolutely love it. Because this is how it should be. This is really how it should be. You guys are all awesome. Thank you for allowing me to talk. Thank you for allowing me to pause so much and not yelling at me. And again, no, I love you. Because this is literally the conversation that we had, like a couple hours ago.
Anything like that. I did that and looked at a map. That's all I did.
Right, Judge.
So if you want to give me something, counsel, you can come here 2 hours late. Give me what you want to give me.
Judge, I don't believe you should be considering anything after the fact of the initial accident. He's being sentenced for failure to stop at a PD accident. It has nothing to do with what he did afterwards. It's completely inappropriate for the court to be.
What he did afterwards?
After the accident, when he was initially rear-ended, that's what he pled to, failing to stop at that accident. It's not failing to stop at the accident that the girls were involved in. It's failure to stop at the accident where he was rear-ended. Ms. Reiser agrees.
If your client, knowing what I'm going to do, wishes to withdraw his plea, I will consider that motion.
Judge, I would also ask that you recuse yourself at this point.
Denied.
Understood. And I can, if you wouldn't mind allowing me to speak with Mr. Torres, my guess is he's going to withdraw his plea.
I'm sorry?
If you wouldn't mind allowing me to speak with Mr. Torres to make sure this is going to happen, but my guess is he will withdraw his plea.
Can we set up a breakout room for Mr. Torres in?
Aaron, I agree. He's just walking through his mind, but this is evidence at this point. He's laying down he didn't lay down a foundation of the map. He didn't do anything. He just showed a map and followed the 911 calls. Didn't say anything. I agree with, I don't remember who said it, but somebody said that it sounds like Judge Simpson's prosecuting. That's exactly what it sounds like. I feel like, again, this is my opinion, the mother's victim impact statements took a toll on him, and he felt that he needed to go above his position to make sure this guy's punished. Now, I'm not saying he's right or wrong. This guy may deserve to be punished. He may not deserve to be punished. There's a lot of facts in this case that aren't on the record that you read in the police reports that we haven't seen that, you know, could make this guy look worse than it is. But we have to go back to the original plea deal, right? The plea deal that the prosecutor gave him was fleeing the scene of an accident. And it was the accident that he didn't cause, that he got hit, and then their vehicle left. So I understand the defense's side 100%. I understand it. And I would be this adamant about my client as well. And I wouldn't even have said, I need to talk to my client. I would have just said, no, we're withdrawing the plea. I know he can't do that. But it's in his head. He's like, no, we're not taking this plea. We're going to take this trial. They cannot prove this. And I don't think they can. I don't think they can. They're not going to be able to prove that he caused that accident. There's no way. Because of what Judge Simpson just found, a map and the 911 calls, he didn't cause them to drive down the road at 100 miles an hour. Okay, I just made that number up. Don't quote me on that. You know, whatever they did to cause that accident, I just can't see that they can prove that. And this is a really sad case. Again, really sad case. This is court at its best right now. Because, like I said, everyone's on. It's 50-50 on the line. This is awesome. Again, I love you all. All right, let's finish this. We're actually about to go into a break. I'm not going to pause it again until it's finished. There's only like 2 minutes left of it.
Signing on to Zoom in one of the conference rooms. Mr. Torres, we're going to put you into one of the conference rooms out there. We're going to put that machine into a breakout room and put your counsel into a breakout room so you guys can talk. Court will stand in recess. All right. All right, we're back on the record in the, is everybody here? Yes, they are. We're back on the record in the Torres matter. Had an opportunity, well, first of all, that counsel had an opportunity to speak with his client. Been also an opportunity for the court to speak with counsel. They are going to consider a motion to withdraw the plea or the other end alike. The court is going to give the opportunity for them to file the written motion to do so if necessary. I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do, but give that opportunity. So I'm going to adjourn these proceedings for the motion as well as sentencing. I'll set both at the same time to March, my next sentencing, March 13th. And I want a special time so that,
3 p.m.
all right, March 13th at 3 p.m. for a continuation of the proceedings. I have directed counsel that everybody needs to be in person at that proceeding.
Understood.
All right. Bond will continue. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Governor.
Oh, man. Now you see why everyone was playing that. I'm trying to hide that. All right. Now you're seeing why everyone was playing that today. Again, if you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, they're in the description. Click the links, watch them. You're going to hear my comments over them. My opinion changed slightly from video 1 to video 2. My opinion went back to what I thought of video 1 after I saw that. Just, I honestly think that Judge Simpson was practicing law from the bench there. He did his own investigation. I think the defense attorney did a great job in calling him out on that. And again, I have all the respect in the world for Judge Simpson. I just don't agree with him on that. I don't. When have you ever seen him do that before? I mean, we all watch him all day long, right? Whenever he's on, everybody watches Judge Simpson because he's our favorite judge to watch. And I just don't agree with this. I don't. And honestly, I wish I could ask Judge Slavin about this, but I can't because it's an ongoing case. But I want to talk to him about it so bad. Anyways, all right, let's change. Before I go on, I want to say thank you to a few PayPals that came in over the last 24 hours. Well, 24 to 48 hours. I'm not the best at checking my email. I'm really not. So sometimes PayPals get through and I don't see them during my live. So I'm going to say thank you to Jennifer and to MB. I think I said thanks to MB before. I know I chased her down in another chat and said thank you. But thank you, MB, for your super chat. Thank you, Jennifer, for your super chat. And thank you, Chris, for your super chat. All three of you, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. The link tree helps me the most. I know I've said this before, but it really does. It's instant. YouTube doesn't take it, their pretty big cut of it. So if you guys want to super chat me in that way, the link tree is in the description. And I would very much appreciate it. Anyways, all right, let's move on. We're going to Judge Middleton now. We're going to get away from the drama and head right back into the drama. But it's a different kind of drama, right?
Good morning. I'll be with you.
Oh, you know what? I saw a comment earlier. Broken system, broken trust. I don't know if you're still here, but you said you had a very important question to ask me. You know what? I ignore you 99% of the time, but you said very important. So if you're still here, what is your question? I will answer it to the best of my ability if you're still here, but there's a reason why I waited 20 minutes to bring that up because I really hope you're not still here.
Just a moment. I'm searching for when your lawyer is set to be here.
I didn't see it. He is on a tether. He's on the bench every day from 8 to 5 every day wearing his robe. I mean, that's basically a tether, right? We see him on YouTube every single day. What are you doing every single day, broken system, broken trust? We don't know. We know where Judge Slavin is. We don't know where you are. So I guess that I hope that answers your question then.
I'm looking for when Rhonda Ives is scheduled to be here next.
Friday for attorney pretrials.
We don't have them. Oh, let's see. Yeah, maybe she'll be Judge Patterson. That might do it.
Yeah, I know Casey. I give him about 0.0001% of my attention. And for whatever reason, he keeps coming back.
There she is. Yes. All right. I'm going to look at my Friday. Crammed full. We'll fit it in. All right, this is a bench warrant arraignment in the matter of People versus Amanda Marion Jewell. Is that you?
Yes, it is.
I'm Judge Middleton. I'm here at the courthouse.
Mr. Middleton.
Your attorney.
I'm here today.
What's that?
I'm kind of curious why I'm here today. I was pretty sure I served my sentence out.
You never showed up for the
2022.
sentence.
I was pretty sure I was released and I served my entire sentence for the entire in 2022.
That might have been in front of Judge Stutzman, but
Nope,
in this case,
it was in front
file
of you.
212545.
You were the judge in the case.
All right. Well, in this case, you were charged with illegal entry.
And that
It was
was exactly
alleged
what it was for.
that you entered a residence at 8th
It
Street.
was a misdemeanor, correct?
Yes. And the matter was set for sentencing
I thought I'd already served my sentence.
on August 31st.
I thought that's when I got out, 2022. I was here for like 60 days. I got picked up in July.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He can look it up. You're going to question him on something he can look up.
Released because the sentence was served, as far as I knew.
As far as you know, that is code for, yeah, please be right because I have no idea. No, she didn't show up her sentencing. Now you're going to sit in jail.
Whoever's in Amanda Jewell's case, will you get out of it?
All right, so right there, that was IT talk for only one person can have a file open at one time. If you've never been in IT or if you've never been in a business environment where only one person can be in a file at one time. It's they don't want multiple people editing a file, because if two people are in the file at the same time and one person saves something and one person saves another, it's not going to be the same, right? So they lock it down. If you open a file, only you can see it. But it's funny that that Judge Middleton had the same issue.
Well, let's go. You're mistaken.
Sorry, peeps. I guess I'm just sort of talking to mute. I'm sorry for over explaining something you already knew.
Let's go through the history of this. Ms. Casey Strong is here with us from the public defender staff, and I asked her to come in. All right, let's go back. On December 21st, you allegedly illegally entered a building at 11028.
What year?
12/22 of 21.
So in 2022, I was picked up and
All
served
right.
the rest of the
Just wait.
sentence.
I'm going through this.
Okay.
And you got arrested and posted a bond in January of 2022.
Yep.
Attorney Timothy George was appointed to represent you, but he had a conflict, and the attorney then became Rhonda Ives. On July 13th of 2022, you got arrested for failing to appear, and you pled not guilty again. So I set the matter for an attorney pretrial for August 5th. Of 2022. You pled guilty to the charge on August 5th. So you trespassed on the house that Jamison Norman owned and allegedly trashed the place. You were in jail for 25 days. I gave you a PR bond and set the matter for sentencing for September 12th, which you promptly never appeared again whatsoever. So your bluster this morning is wasted. You were in jail for 25 days. You entered a plea. I let you out of jail, and you never showed up for the sentence. You never got sentenced.
I never got any notice to appear.
I told you in the courtroom. I may have even given you something. I told you the matter was set for sentencing on September 12th of 2022. I asked for victim input and a police report. Miss Norman was watching this house for her grandmother and contended that you or others trashed the place. So I set the matter for sentencing. I let you out of jail, and you paid me back by never showing up again.
I don't remember ever getting a notice to appear after.
I told you in the courtroom what the day was to be here.
I physically did not have a sheet that said I needed to return to the court.
Well, we sent it to 1411 James Street, Kalamazoo, which is the address that you gave me in the courtroom.
Well,
that was mailed to that address on August 31st.
No longer, I cannot receive mail there. The house has been condemned.
So on that day, your lawyer tried to call you several times, had no contact with you since you got out of jail. And the complainant was present and ready to give information about your case.
Well, the complainant was in the parking lot when I left the jail that day and threatened my life.
All right.
Norma is her name?
No. Her name is James.
The woman that was watching the residents was in the parking lot that day when I left and threatened my life.
Okay. So
And I
anyway,
didn't have a
you
phone or
never called
anything
your
to
lawyer.
call, so
Your lawyer was unable to reach you and you never showed up. So how did you get arrested last night?
I didn't get arrested last night. I was arrested on Sunday
Where is that?
at 1411 James.
In Kalamazoo?
Yes,
So Sunday would have been February 10th, Super Bowl Sunday. How did you come to get arrested?
on my property.
Did they arrest you for something else, or did they just find there was
Yes.
this warrant?
They arrested me for something else. This popped up
And
when
then
I
found this.
was going to be let out.
All right. What was the charge in Kalamazoo?
A false charge of controlled substance, dangerous drugs, and I'm supposedly on the FBI list. Who knows why, but
All right. So is that, and then they were gonna bond you out, and they found this warrant in St. Joe County.
Yep. This popped up.
All right. We need to get the case back on track. Monday's a holiday.
And I need to get out of here as fast as possible because I'm trying to get my taxes paid on my house so I can start renovations.
Okay.
Before the 1st of March, definitely.
All right, very good. I'll set this matter for sentence, and hopefully we can get Miss Ives here. The first day I have is February 21st.
And I have court in Kalamazoo on the 21st.
Yeah, that much, especially going up the stairs. Yeah. I got so bad, sir.
All right. While we have a slow time, I'm gonna pause it just to thank all the members. Peeps, thank you for the 1 month. I think I already said thank you to Kelly for the 1 month as well. But Tracy for the new member, Chris for the new member, both of you, thank you for becoming new members. I appreciate it. And yeah, let's keep going.
Do you want one? Yes, ma'am. A minute? Yes, ma'am.
All rise. The 14A District Court.
Oh, I really thought I edited this out. I edited this out. Hold on. It goes away. It
Do I
goes
have to
away.
stay in jail?
Nope, it doesn't. I remember when this came up and I edited it out. It happened multiple times. You know what? I don't care. Mary Brown, thank you so much for the 1 month. Thank you. Thank you.
Do I have to stay in jail till this matter goes to court? I would think that since it's a misdemeanor, I wouldn't have to stay in jail.
You're mistaken. I'm not very happy with you. You blew off your sentencing date. You never called your lawyer. The complainant came twice. You're trying to bluster me to tell me that you already got sentenced and did a bunch of jail time. I did you a favor by letting you out of jail, and you promptly responded by
I thought I did. My mistake.
Okay,
I just want to get the matter resolved and I don't want to miss being able to get my property taken care of before March. And I don't want to miss my other court dates in Kalamazoo.
fair enough.
Trying to keep a better schedule. Only can do that if, we can work together. Because this is only a misdemeanor. Not that that makes it any less important.
There we go. Your lawyer is set to be here next Tuesday.
Have to be here till
February
Tuesday?
20. Yes.
Really?
We also need to give notice to the complaining witness.
So I can't get because now I have a way to get here. Before I didn't have a way to get here.
Yes.
I don't understand why I couldn't be released. If I do have a way to get here, I know I have a way to get here. Before I did not.
Well, you do now, because you have no bond. I'm going to deal with you on Tuesday, and I'm going to decide at that time whether to let you out on Tuesday or give you the balance of 93 days in jail. So you might want to work on your attitude a little bit. I'll have your lawyer, Rhonda Ives, here at that time. We'll have the complainant here. I'm going out of my way to set this as soon as I can on a date that your attorney is already scheduled to be here. Just because you're strenuous in your statement doesn't mean it's correct. The bottom line is, I let you out of jail. You blew me off. You never showed up. You never called your lawyer. Your lawyer couldn't call you. I told you the date in the courtroom. I mailed the notice to the address that you gave me. You've been AWOL for 2.5 years. So we'll deal with this on Tuesday. No, this is it. I'll see you Tuesday at 9 o'clock. All right, Ms. Strong.
All right, now we're moving on to our last clip. I know everyone has seen that one. Everyone saw the first one. Hopefully you haven't seen the last one. We're going to Judge Perkins. This is a good one. And from what I saw, everyone else was watching Simpson, Middleton all day. So we should be good. You shouldn't have seen this one. Before I get into it, C-Dumps, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I hope you're having a good Valentine's Day, C-Dumps. And then Nancy, thank you so much for the 2 months. You're awesome. I'm glad to see you're back, Nancy. I hope you're feeling well. All right, let's go to the last clip.
My name is Jonathan Lindsay.
Elwood S. Berry Jr. on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
Hey, today is the date and time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Lindsay, do you have valid driver's license?
Not at this moment, Your Honor. I still have to pay a few more tickets that I got on this long list here.
All right, so we can give you some more time, but we're just gonna put this on a trial date. Did I give you time before?
Last court date, you were out for an important situation. We're gonna move it to Valentine's Day. So I think you had a substitute judge in that day.
Okay, let me give him a pretrial date. Are you gonna get this license and stuff together by April the 4th?
I would definitely attempt to, but I will say this though. I think due to the tickets I have and the mail that I actually have another arraignment. Are you Judge Perkins?
Yes.
This just came in the mail, so I actually acquired 2 more tickets while trying to take care of my license. So the big thing is this, like I don't really have. Everyone keeps saying you need to Uber, you need to call your family to get you to your jobs, but I don't really have any family, and I'm a mobile mechanic, so I've been paying off tickets, but it's like I'll go 6 steps forward, but if I get another ticket, I'm 5.
I understand. But I'm gonna say this, I sympathize with you, but that's the hole you dug now. So we're gonna try to help you get out of it, but at the end of the day, you know, you're not supposed to be driving.
At the end of the day, y'all get money.
Huh?
I said, at the end of the day, y'all gonna want money. Sometimes money come from having to do something that we don't.
Let's not debate that stuff. You know, it costs money to live. All right, so let's not go there. You're not supposed to be driving. That's all it is to it. And yeah, you're not.
So if I don't drive, that means you don't get paid. They throw me in jail.
All right, so he's gonna sit here and try to rationalize this with me when you're not supposed to be driving.
Okay, say less.
All right, can we just agree on that?
All right, let's be fair. Judge Perkins' line is say less. He always says say less. If you don't talk, you might just walk. How many times have we heard Judge Perkins say that? He says say less. This guy has been in front of Judge Perkins enough to understand that's his statement. That's what he says, say less. He just said it back to Judge Perkins. No. Yeah, no.
Say less. I'm gonna sit right here. This is how I make my money.
You don't tell me to say less. You say less. I asked you, can we agree on that you're not supposed to be driving?
You said, can we agree on the date, Your Honor? I said, yeah, but it's hard. I'm not playing.
I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I can either give them an allowing a day, allow them to do 12 hours of community service. And then we'll dismiss both of these cases where it's improper plate and allowing. If I can give them an improper plate or an allowing, that's a 0-point offense, doesn't abstract the Secretary of State. Do 12 hours of community service, we'll be done with it. Or I can give you time to get a valid driver's license and valid plates. You can come back either April the 4th for a pretrial date or June the 14th for a trial date. What would you like to do, sir?
The later, the better. It gives me more opportunity to figure out a way to pay these tickets.
All right, 6/14/2024 at 9 a.m. is going to be your next court date. And if those other court dates come up, well, when they come up, we can consolidate all of those. You're not Jonathan David Lindsay, are you?
No, sir.
All right, so when those other court dates come up, because I don't see them in the system here, all I see is case numbers, the case numbers I call 227, 217, 19, counts 1 and counts 2.
Okay. Well, these at these on the February 9th.
What's your middle name? You have a middle name?
I'm sorry, say that one more time, Your Honor.
You have a middle name?
Michael, Michael.
Oh, it's about to get so much worse. They had his name misspelled, and he just said he has a lot more tickets. Oh, it gets so much worse. Judge Perkins is just like, no, you don't talk to me that way. Don't do that. And now Judge is like, you only have 2 tickets. Why are you talking to me that way? Just go pay your tickets. Yeah, it turns out he's got like 20 tickets. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's about to go down because not a lot of drama happens. Just Perkins being like, what are you doing? That's about it.
Do you see something under that for Mike?
I got ticket numbers.
Oh, so he's got all of these. Why aren't they coming up on this, the one that I've just pulled up? Oh, I see why they're not coming up. What do you spell your name with Lindsay with the E name?
Heineken, for you, because I haven't seen you in a couple days, it's about to go down. Even though it's not really about to go down, but just for you, I said it.
It's Lindsay with the E, and my first name got 2 N's in it.
The 227s are a mistake. They're his tickets, I believe, because it's got the same birthday. Let's also call into the record, the city of Detroit versus Jonathan Lindsay, SB 109-5290, counts 1 and counts 2. SB 1109-1911, counts 1 and counts 2. SB 111-2157, counts 1 and counts 2. SB 113-0937, counts 1, 2, and 3. SB 122-0865, counts 2 and counts 3. SB 132, strike that. SB 123-5302, counts 1, 2, and 3. SB 124-36561. SB 124-3671, counts 1, 2, and 3. SB 124-36841. SB 128-3729, counts 1, 2, and 3. SB 128-3730, counts 1, 2, and 3. SB 130-3464-1, counts 1, strike that, counts 1 and 2 and 3. SB 130-4679, counts 1, 2, and 3. SB 132-3821, counts 1 and counts 2. SB 132-3824, counts 1, 2, and 3. SB 132-4177, counts 1 and counts 2. SB 132-4990, counts 1 and counts 2. SB 1416439, counts 1, 2, and 3. SB 1416472, SB 1450501. SB 1450521, SB 15325-226, counts 1, 2, and 3. 22741526, counts 1, 2, and 3. 22741527, 24762031, 2470720391. Ridiculous. Appearance for the record, please.
This is ridiculous. All right. There's only a couple minutes left of this. I am going to let it play out. I just double checked. I've made sure that I called out all the new members, the gifted members, the super chats. Thank you everyone for being here. We're going to let Judge Perkins take this out. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. I hope you guys all had a great night. We are all. I am going to go jump in Discord and hang out for a little bit after this stream. If you want to come hang out, come hang out. If you want to go, do whatever, go do whatever. You do you. But please like and subscribe and do your jump kick backflips. Until next time, bye.
That's Barry Jr. on behalf of Mr. Lindsay. State your full name, Mr. Lindsay.
Jonathan Michael Lindsay.
Put those other two I printed out on the, correct his name on those other two. Managed to consolidate all of these and put them on the sheet. We've already arranged a $0 bond in or not guilty plea on his behalf. We'll set a trial date. At first I was sort of kind of a little bit sympathizing with you a little bit, but as I look and then as I kept on reading, you speak about what can you do in order to stop this. And if the allegations are true, that's why I always preface that, because I don't know, I haven't heard the other side. All I see is all the allegations. But if the allegations are true, what you could do, and even if you didn't have a driver's license, is you cannot disregard red signals. You cannot go 16 to 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. You cannot failure to stop at stop signs. You cannot go 6 to 10 over the speed limit. You cannot do those movement violations that would get you noticed out in the streets. That's if the allegations are true. Print me up another thing. Print with his name, and then we'll print up another one of these, so all the tickets will be all on the same name. We'll set the trial date for June 14, 2024. The way it looks, It'll be a long time before you get a license. But I'll leave that up to you. And that's gonna be your next court date is June 14th, 2024. And I will wish you the best of luck. All right, Mr. Lindsay?
I got one question, Your Honor, and then I'm gonna let you go. If all of my tickets are paid and I'm on it's like, I think Secretary of State, it's right here in front of my face. They said I may not be eligible till June 2025 for my review. So even with my tickets being all paid up, I may not be able to acquire it. How would that work?
Understood. You have a long, like I say, you might not get a license for a long time. You got 2 driving while license revoked allegations here. So you may want to speak to a lawyer before you just go pay anything, or you just may want to come back to the court date, because I don't expect you to have a license when you come back on the 14th, quite honestly.
Right.
Now, that's up to you. If you can get it, I hope you can, but I don't expect that. But I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with Mr. Berry. You can have a conversation with him, and maybe he can give you a little bit of advice on how that's gonna play out.
All right.
All right, if there's nothing further, best of luck to you, sir. I'll see you back June 14th. If you don't have any further questions for the court, you're free to leave after you speak to Mr. Berry.
Yes, sir.